You ever feel like you're reading a woman's mind, only for her to rewrite the script entirely? One moment she's practically melting into your arms, eyes sparkling, every touch electric. The next it's like a deep freeze hit. Her texts become ice. Her replies are shorter than a politician's promise, and you're left staring at your phone, wondering if you accidentally sprouted a second head. What just happened? Did you say something wrong? Do something wrong? Are you cursed to forever be the guy who almost had her, until she inexplicably vanished like a ghost in the fog? Forget everything you think you know about the chase. Most men are playing checkers when women are playing chess. And that sudden chilling distance you feel? It's not always a sign of rejection. In fact, sometimes it's the most powerful signal of attraction you could ever receive. It's her subconscious hitting the panic button because you're getting too close, too real, too powerful. And what scares a woman more than anything isn't you leaving. It's her losing control when she desperately wants to lean into you. Welcome to the ultimate decoding of female psychology, where we rip apart the mixed signals and expose the raw, unfiltered truth behind why women pull away just when you think you've got them. This isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding the primal forces at play in her heart and mind, so you can stop reacting like a bewildered puppy and start responding like the man she secretly yearns to surrender to. We're going to dive deep into the 5 brutal truths about her distance, and by the end of this, you'll possess the cheat code to transforming her cold shoulder into an undeniable magnet. Her vulnerability hangover, imagine this. You've had an incredible night. Laughter, deep conversation, undeniable chemistry. You felt a connection building, and so did she. You're riding high on that feeling, anticipating more. But then crickets. Her replies slow, her enthusiasm dips. You're confused, maybe even hurt. What you don't realize is that for her, that intense connection wasn't just exciting. It was terrifying. When a woman feels a genuine, profound attraction, it often triggers a primal fear. The fear of vulnerability. It's not about you being a bad guy. It's about her past. Every woman has been hurt, let down, or disappointed. When she starts to feel something real for you, her subconscious screams, "Warning! Potential heartbreak ahead." It's a defense mechanism, a self-preservation instinct kicking in to shield her heart from perceived danger. The closer you get, the more intense her feelings become, and paradoxically, the more intense her fear becomes. She's not pulling away because she doesn't want you. She's pulling away because she does want you, deeply. And that level of desire feels like a risk to her emotional safety. She's grappling with the internal conflict, the part of her that craves connection versus the part that demands self-protection. This isn't a game. It's an emotional hangover from a night of intense vulnerability, and your panicked chasing only confirms her deepest fear, that you're just another man who will overwhelm her and make her lose control. Let's break this down further. Picture a woman who has, in the past, given her heart fully only to have it stomped on. Maybe she was ghosted, or cheated on, or simply taken for granted after she showed her true feelings. These experiences create a powerful scar tissue around her emotional core. Now she meets you. You're different. You make her feel things she hasn't felt in a long time, maybe ever. Her heart starts to stir. That protective wall she's built begins to crack, and that crack, that vulnerability, feels like a gaping wound to her subconscious. It's an internal alarm system blaring. This feels good, too good. This is exactly how it felt before I got hurt. So she pulls back. It's not a conscious decision to reject you. It's an instinctive recoil from the precipice of emotional exposure. She needs to regain her footing, to assess the threat of her own feelings. Most men misinterpret this as a loss of interest. They see her distance and think, she's not into me anymore. So they either chase harder, showering her with attention, trying to fix the problem, or they retreat completely, thinking it's over. Both reactions are detrimental. If you chase, you confirm her fear of being overwhelmed, of losing herself in the intensity. You become another pressure point, reinforcing the idea that her feelings are a trap. She needed space to process. You gave her a flood. If you disappear, you confirm her fear of abandonment. You validate the idea that when she shows a crack in her armor, men will simply walk away, proving her protective instincts were justified all along. The key here is understanding. Recognize her distance not as rejection, but as a sign of deep internal processing. It's a testament to the strength of her feelings, not the weakness of yours. Your job is to create a safe space for her to navigate this internal war, not to intensify it. The subconscious strength test. When a woman pulls away, she's not just retreating. She's initiating a subconscious test. She's not sitting there, consciously plotting to mess with your head. This test is far more organic, an instinctive probe into your emotional fortitude. She wants to see if your confidence is a solid foundation or a house of cards. Think about it. In the wild, the female instinctively seeks a mate who demonstrates resilience, stability, and the ability to handle pressure. In the modern dating landscape, this translates to how you react when she introduces uncertainty. Do you fall apart? Do you become needy, clingy, and desperate for her validation? Or do you remain calm, grounded, and unshakable? Your reaction to her distance is a direct communication of your perceived value. If you panic, bombard her with texts, or demand explanations, you're inadvertently signaling weakness. You're telling her, my emotional well-being is dependent on your attention. And for a woman, that's not attractive. It's a burden. It instantly erodes the very attraction you worked so hard to build. But if you hold your frame, if you continue living your life with purpose and focus, if you match her energy without becoming cold or indifferent, you send an entirely different message. My world doesn't revolve around your moods. I am a man with a solid core, unshakable by external forces. This isn't about playing games. It's about demonstrating your inherent strength and self-possession. That kind of unwavering stability is magnetic, signaling to her subconscious that you are a safe harbor, a man she can trust to remain grounded even when her own emotions are in flux. This test isn't about if she likes you, but if she can trust your leadership when things get uncomfortable. Let's unpack the nuances of this strength test. It's not just about what you don't do, don't chase, don't panic, but also about what you do. Consider a scenario. You've been on a few dates, things are heating up, and then her texts become sparse. She might cancel a plan last minute with a vague excuse. The average man's internal monologue goes something like, "Oh no, I'm losing her. What do I do? I need to prove myself." He might send a barrage of "Are you okay?" texts, or suggest a new, more elaborate date, or even become passive-aggressive, hinting at her coldness. All these reactions are a colossal failure of the strength test. They scream, "I'm insecure. I need your validation to feel good about myself." A man who understands this test, however, responds differently. He might acknowledge her cancellation with a simple, "No worries, hope everything's all right. Let me know when you're free another time." Then he shifts his focus back to his life. He goes to the gym, works on his business, spends time with friends, invests in his passions. What does this communicate? It tells her, you're busy and have a life. You're not sitting by the phone, waiting for her. This demonstrates self-sufficiency and high value. You're not easily rattled. Her uncertainty doesn't send your world spinning. You're grounded, and that creates a profound sense of security for her. You respect her space. You're not trying to force a connection, which paradoxically makes her feel safer to reconnect on her own terms. You have standards. You're not going to beg or chase. You present an invitation for connection, but you don't compromise your self-respect for it. This isn't about being cold or playing games. It's about demonstrating authentic strength, resilience, and a deep-seated confidence that isn't dependent on her approval. Women are instinctively drawn to men who exude this unshakable energy because it promises stability, protection, and emotional leadership. Her test is an opportunity for you to shine, to prove that you are the safe, strong presence she subconsciously seeks. Fail this test and you lose her desire. Pass it, and you elevate yourself in her eyes to a man worthy of her trust and deeper emotional investment. Her emotional reset button. Sometimes her pulling away has nothing to do with you failing or her losing interest. Instead, it's her body and mind hitting the emotional reset button. Women are incredibly attuned to their emotions, and deep connections can be exhilarating, but also incredibly taxing. Imagine running a marathon at full sprint. Eventually, you need to catch your breath. When feelings intensify and the connection becomes profound, it triggers a cascade of internal processing for her. She's asking herself deep questions. Is this real? Can I truly trust him? Am I ready for this? What if I get hurt again? These aren't doubts about you necessarily, but about the overwhelming nature of her own emotions. Instead of verbalizing this internal dialogue, many women instinctively retreat to process. They need space, quiet, and solitude to recalibrate their feelings. Your instinct might be to close that gap, to comfort her, to fix whatever you perceive is wrong. But this is where most men make a critical error. By chasing, by demanding answers, by suffocating her with your attention, You're disrupting her natural reset process. You're turning her need for space into a frantic chase, making her associate you with pressure and anxiety, rather than comfort and understanding. When you allow her that space, without resentment or anxiety, you give her the oxygen she needs. She begins to miss your presence, to remember the positive feelings, and her emotions rebalance naturally. This time apart allows her to move past the initial fear and settle into a deeper, more stable connection. The man who respects this rhythm, who can give her space without losing his own peace, is the man who earns her long-term devotion. It's about demonstrating that you are secure enough to withstand her temporary absence, proving you are a source of calm, not chaos. Let's delve deeper into this emotional reset. Think of a woman's emotional landscape as a complex, vibrant garden. When a connection with you blossoms, it's beautiful and fulfilling, but it also requires tending, a period of quiet integration. If she's constantly being watered and talked to, without a moment to simply exist, the garden can become oversaturated, even overwhelmed. This need for a reset is often more pronounced in women who are highly empathetic or who tend to absorb emotional energy from others. A deep connection means she's processing your energy, your feelings, your potential, alongside her own. This can be exhausting. She needs to retreat to her inner world, to sort through the emotional data, to reconcile the intensity of her feelings with her desire for self-preservation. During this period, she's not thinking about you negatively. In fact, she might be thinking about you a lot, analyzing every interaction, trying to make sense of the powerful emotions you evoke. This is a crucial distinction. Her distance is not a judgment on your worth, but a necessity for her internal equilibrium. Your role during her emotional reset is analogous to a steady lighthouse in a storm. You remain constant, visible, but you don't attempt to control the waves. You continue to shine brightly on your own path. This means no frantic communication. Resist the urge to send checking-in texts every hour. One calm, non-demanding message after a day or two, perhaps referencing a shared inside joke or an update on something you're doing, is more powerful than a desperate monologue. No resentment. Don't act put out or passive-aggressive when she eventually resurfaces. Welcome her back with genuine warmth, as if her absence was a natural part of the rhythm, not a personal slight. Maintain your own life. This is paramount. If she sees your entire world halt because she pulled back, it adds immense pressure. If she sees you thriving, engaged in your passions, and living a full life, it makes her feel secure. It communicates that you're not a fragile entity dependent on her, but a self-sufficient individual who enriches her life, rather than needing to complete it. By giving her this space, you allow her subconscious to work in your favor. She'll begin to miss the positive feelings you evoke. She'll recall the warmth, the connection, the excitement. The emotional overwhelm will subside, and in its place will be a renewed sense of clarity and longing. This reset isn't a step backward. It's often a necessary pause before she takes a much larger, more intentional step forward into a deeper connection with you. Trust the process and trust in your own groundedness. The truth. Attraction as a perceived threat. Here's a paradox most men never grasp. For a woman, intense attraction can feel like a threat. It sounds counterintuitive, but think about it from her perspective. Mild interest is safe. She can walk away any time without emotional fallout. But when a man truly ignites her desire, when he makes her heart race and her thoughts consume her, the stakes skyrocket. This level of attraction means vulnerability, a profound openness that exposes her deepest fears. It means letting go of control, trusting another person with her most guarded self. If she's been through past betrayals, abandonment, or emotional manipulation, a powerful attraction isn't just exciting. It's a giant, flashing red light. Her subconscious screams, "Danger!" This feels good, but it could lead to pain. So she pulls back. Not because she wants you less, but because she's terrified of wanting you too much. She's testing the waters, subconsciously asking, will he exploit this vulnerability? Will he disappear once I open up? Is he truly safe? Your response in this crucial moment dictates everything. If you react with insecurity, anger, or neediness, you confirm her deepest fears. You reinforce the idea that her attraction to you is dangerous, that you cannot be trusted with her fragile emotions. But if you respond with unwavering calm, consistent strength, and patient understanding, you gradually dismantle those fears. You show her that your presence isn't a threat but a sanctuary. You demonstrate that you are a man who can handle the intensity of her feelings without crumbling or turning it against her. This is how you shift attraction from a perceived risk to an undeniable, irresistible pull. You become the embodiment of safety, making her desire for you too powerful to resist. Let's unpack the concept of attraction as a perceived threat with more real-world examples. Consider a woman who's fiercely independent, perhaps priding herself on not needing a man. She's built her life, her career, her identity around self-sufficiency. Then you come along and stir something deep within her, a longing for connection, a desire to lean on someone, a profound sense of safety she hadn't anticipated. This intensely positive feeling, this strong attraction, directly clashes with her established identity and defense mechanisms. It feels like a threat to her independence, to her carefully constructed sense of control. Her subconscious might interpret this as, if I let myself feel this much, I might lose myself. I might become dependent. I might give up the very things I fought so hard to build. So, she pushes you away, not because you're a bad man, but because you represent a powerful force that threatens her established emotional architecture. Another example. A woman who has been consistently underestimated or undervalued by previous partners. She's learned to guard her true self, to present a more composed, less emotionally raw version of herself. When you see through that facade, when you connect with the deeper parts of her, it's both exhilarating and terrifying. It's exhilarating because she feels seen, truly seen for the first time. It's terrifying because she wonders if you'll exploit that knowledge, if you'll use her vulnerabilities against her, just as others have. Her pulling back in this context is a desperate attempt to regain control, to slow things down, to see if you are truly different. She's watching for signs that you are a man of integrity, a man who will cherish her vulnerabilities, not weaponize them. Your task, then, is to become the embodiment of emotional safety. How do you do this? Maintain consistency. Be reliable but not predictable. Show up when you say you will. Follow through on your promises. This builds trust brick by brick. Respect her pace. If she slows down, don't rush her. Give her the space and time to process without making her feel guilty or pressured. Demonstrate emotional stability. Show her that you are not rattled by her fluctuations. Your calm, confident demeanor in the face of her withdrawal is the most potent reassurance. Value her autonomy. Communicate subtly or directly that you appreciate her independence and individuality. You are not trying to possess her or diminish her sense of self. When you consistently demonstrate these qualities, you gradually chip away at her subconscious perception of attraction as a threat. You rewire her internal alarm system, teaching her that with you, intense feelings lead to safety and deeper connection, not pain. This is a profound shift, and it's what ultimately allows her to fully surrender to the powerful attraction she feels for you. You become the man who isn't just attractive, but safe. The magnetic power of detachment, not indifference. The ultimate secret when she pulls away isn't to chase harder, nor is it to become cold and indifferent. It's to embrace the magnetic power of detachment. This is not about not caring. It's about not being emotionally dependent on her presence or her validation. It's about maintaining your center, your purpose, and your masculine frame regardless of her fluctuating energy. When she creates distance, she is watching. Your reaction is her data. If she sees you unravel, pause your life, or become frantic, she registers it as weakness. You've handed her all your power, and with it, her attraction for you wanes. Why? Because women are drawn to strength, to a man who is a rock, not a leaf blowing in the wind of her emotions. But when you respond with calm, confident detachment, you become a powerful magnet. You continue to focus on your mission, your goals, your friends, your fitness. You respond to her when it's convenient for you, not out of desperation. You communicate with concise, confident messages that convey you value her. But your world is not collapsing without her. This detachment communicates an unspoken truth. My happiness, my worth, and my purpose are internal. Your presence enhances my life, but it doesn't define it. This is the ultimate proof of your strength and self-respect. She will feel your stable energy. She will notice that you haven't become needy. She will start to feel the void created by her own distance, and the curiosity of your unshakable nature will draw her back in. This isn't about playing games. It's about embodying the masculine strength she fundamentally craves. When she realizes her distance doesn't break you, It only solidifies her respect and desire. She'll return, not out of obligation, but because she wants to be in the orbit of a man who is so powerfully centered in himself. Remember, her pulling away isn't the end. It's the test. Pass it by staying grounded, focused on your purpose and radiating unshakable confidence. Your calm strength in the face of her uncertainty is the most potent aphrodisiac you possess. Let's expand on this critical concept of detachment versus indifference. Many men confuse the two, leading to disastrous results. Indifference is apathy. It's genuinely not caring, which will absolutely push a woman away. Detachment, however, is a higher form of self-possession. It's caring about her but not needing her. It's valuing the connection, but not allowing her actions to dictate your emotional state or your life's trajectory. Imagine a powerful tree. It offers shade and shelter, but it doesn't beg the wind to blow or the sun to shine. It simply is. When a storm comes, it sways, but its roots remain deep and firm. This is the masculine energy you want to embody. When she pulls away, the detached man doesn't react with neediness. Why aren't you texting? What did I do wrong? I need reassurance. Anger. Fine, if you're going to be like that, I'll ignore you too. Pleading, please just tell me what's going on. I can fix it. Instead, he responds with calm acceptance. Okay, she needs space. I'll respect that. Continued focus. He redirects his energy to his passions, his work, his friendships. His life doesn't stop. Self-validation. His self-worth isn't tied to her immediate attention. He knows his value, irrespective of her current state. Measured communication. If he does reach out, it's not to demand, but to invite, or simply to share a piece of his ongoing, fulfilling life. For example, had a killer workout today. Hope your week's going well. This shows he's living, thriving, and not consumed by her absence. The power of this approach lies in its authenticity. It's not a tactic. It's a way of being. When she witnesses your unwavering composure, she learns several crucial things. You are emotionally secure. You are not easily shaken. This is profoundly attractive because it signals stability and leadership. You have high self-worth. You don't chase, because you know your value and understand that true connection flows from mutual respect, not desperate pursuit. You are a man of integrity. You're not playing games or manipulating her. You're simply living your truth and allowing her the freedom to choose to be a part of it. Ironically, this detachment creates a vacuum that she will feel compelled to fill. When she steps back and your world doesn't crumble, she starts to wonder, why isn't he chasing? Is he okay? What's he doing? Her curiosity builds, her sense of your value increases, and the absence of your usual presence becomes a palpable void. This is when her natural attraction, previously stifled by her fears or need for a reset, begins to pull her back toward you with renewed force. Mastering this magnetic detachment is not easy. It requires inner work, self-discipline, and a genuine commitment to your own purpose and well-being. But it is the single most powerful way to reignite her desire and establish yourself as the kind of high-value man she simply cannot resist. Remember, her pulling away isn't the end. It's the test. Pass it by staying grounded, focused on your purpose and radiating unshakable confidence. Your calm strength in the face of her uncertainty is the most potent aphrodisiac you possess. Now it's your turn. How has a woman pulling away impacted you? What was your gut reaction? And looking back, how would you handle it differently now with this newfound understanding? Share your stories and insights in the comments below. Your experience could be the key that unlocks another man's perspective. And if you're ready to master these dynamics and become the unshakable man she can't resist, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more unfiltered truths, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into what women really want.